Have you ever been trying to do a crystal report and you had the rows duplicate themselves? In this video, I'll explain to you how to pull header information, row information, and how to do summaries at the row level and the header level. Let's go. So the standard way that people get started with this is they do a blank report. Gonna log into your regular database. You grab, let's do invoices. So we go modules, sales, invoice. Turn on view system information and hold your mouse over one of these header area fields. So you can see in the bottom left, OINV, comma, card name. So OINV is the table. That's the table that we need to add. And then the column name is card name. So let's go. Table. OINV. Next. Add that to your report. So these are tables for your report. Push OK. So I just have the one table. Let's drag some fields on here. Let's go docnum. Let's go card code. Let's make this one go left too. Card name. And we want doc total. Okay, so let's just restrict this so I don't have a ton of information. So I'm just gonna set this to card code. Oh, let me go a little slower through this. So report. And if you need more help with crystal reports, take my crystal reports course, crystal.battleshipcobra.com. Report, selection formulas, record, card code equals C001000. I know this is already my Battleship Cobra BP. And now what you can do is you can go insert, text object, put here invoice summary. Here, we're not trying to get too fancy here. Left, rid of this. Okay, so this is how people kind of start. They go add some stuff. They're like, oh, I'm going to do a nice little invoice summary. Okay, so then they go right click, insert summary on the doc total at the grand total level, 2.34 million. Let's fix up this a little bit. Right click, paint, format field. So for document numbers, we don't want commas. And here's a little trick. If you have trouble arranging these, get rid of the negative symbol because you could see there's a gap. And I struggled with this for years. Why is there a gap? It won't line up and I had to move things around. It's just annoying, but it's the negatives. You're never gonna need negatives in these document numbers. Okay, and that aligns it nice and snug. For the dollar ones, it seems okay for now. So you think, oh, wow, this is great. Oh, you know what I need? I need taxes. And I have kind of an unusual tax setup. Like Felipe from Brazil says Brazilian taxes are kind of like wonky. Comment below if you think it's funny. Canada's taxes are relatively straightforward, although we can have two rows. So I already have kind of a good example of this. So Felipe was asking me a question in my Udemy course, and I decided to answer this a little more thoroughly. So we're going to add INV4. He had correctly identified where the data is. So we're going to add INV4. And we're going to go to links. So let's see here, INV4, looking good. Doc entry, okay, look, doc entry to doc entry. Left click, drag that there. Now they're linked. So for every document, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's an INV4 with taxes, INV4. I guess in Brazil, not all the taxes are just listed for the customer. You can have other taxes that don't even show on the document, kind of like accruals and things like that. This is kind of a red flag here, line number, and we're gonna kind of see why that's an issue. So let's go okay. So you're like, oh, great. Things are working good. We're gonna just have, this is gonna be a really easy day today. Well, go to design view. Now you wanna add your taxes, tax sum. Okay, so I just want the tax sum just at the level of the document. It'll be so easy. Preview. What the hell happened? $80 million? Why? So you start to look through here. 16772. Why are there so many of the same document, Mike? It's so crazy. What's going on? This ruined my day. I just got to get on to this next report. Well, the problem is, let's take a look at INV4. So this is SQL Management, SQL Server Management Studio. If you don't know anything about this, you can take my SQL course, sql.battleshipcobra.com, or just go to battleshipcobra.com. I have a course about how to learn more on SQL starting from scratch. Select star from INV4. Okay, so we're just gonna go like this. Well, let's just do what we actually did. Okay, select star from, and then we have OINVT0. Join, and this is slightly different for my HANA people. I'm sorry, I just don't want to do it in HANA. So the difference in HANA is that there's basically, the only difference really here is you need to put quotes around here for this case. Okay, and then what I want to do is say where T0.mash my keys card code equals C00. Okay, boom. Okay, so you can see now doc entry, doc num, and all this stuff. But you can see that in some cases, 148, 148, 1448, 1448, 1448. Oh, geez, there's so many of the same for one document. So the trick here is the header is designed to have one invoice, one row, all of the header information. But when you join to it a one-to-many table, that table has more than one row. So now you have to handle, how do I work with these multiple rows? And this could be lines. Maybe you want to summarize the lines. Maybe you want to indicate if a particular document has been delivered. It's a pretty advanced concept, and you're like, I just want the total. I don't want all those extra fields. Well, it's like, well, you need to understand that this takes the whole thing, and if you go through here, this has all of the tables, all the columns, and all the rows then for INV4. So wherever INV4 starts here, we can just do this little tricky trick. Select star from INV4. So I just have it, I have it commented, but I can highlight whatever I highlight is going to run. I push F5 or execute, and then this will just run this. So you see doc entry, these are pretty simple. There's only one each, but when you get lower down, right? 180, 180, 181, 180, there's so many. There's so many for each document. So that's why now for every OINV for this document, now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, you know, every single row is multiplied that way. So how do we fix that? So let's work through it. Back to Crystal Reports. So we have our 80 million. We have too many documents. So there's two ways to fix it. The first way I'll show you is a Crystal Reports workaround that I don't really love, but it might work for you. And the second one is SQL, just to fix it by SQL so you can output the sum that way. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is the Crystal Reports hack way. So what you want to do first is group by your document number. Oh, sorry, report, group expert, group by your document number. So what we want is we want to say, show me all of these documents at a grouped level. So what we're going to do eventually is we're going to hide the details row, and we're going to only use the groups as the detail row. Because again, in this case, we only want one invoice row per invoice. Okay, let's fix the numbers here again, format the field. I usually do this one, and then I go customize to none. Boom, nice and clean. Okay, so now what we need is we want some way to indicate this so that we don't have this every single time here. So let's go insert summary. Let's go at the group level. So you can see this is too much tax, or this is too much document total. All right. let's take 160,772. Find 160,772. So this is 1.6 million. And this is 76 million. Look at how many times. Sorry, it's 1.8 after taxes. 1.8 after taxes. So that's right. So it's like, look at, that's crazy. That's multiplied it so many times. So a little trick here. Let's isolate one document. Go back. Click your AR invoice. Click Tools. Change Log. 1448. This is the doc entry of this document. You don't have to write like select doc entry from OINV where doc num equals 160,772. You can literally go through this. Thanks again, Matt. So we can go report. Let's just make this simple. Report selection formulas record, card code, and let's go here. Doc entry equals 1448 to set it to that one document, just to refresh it and make it a little bit more easy to work with. Okay, so we have a group footer total, and then the document total is obviously the same. So we can see how many times it repeated it because of that multiplicity effect. Every one of the 20 rows has 2 tax rows. So now we have 40 rows, and that's not good. So the taxes probably add up. So let's right click, insert summary. I'm just gonna say add to all levels. You could put it on just one, but I'm gonna say add it to both. 194,41581. So that's correct. 194,41581. Looks good. But again, we still have this problem because it's repeating the doc total at every line. So the alternative is, well, even if you did it for the row, there's going to be 2 tax rows for every one item row. So you're still in trouble. So I think the easiest way to do this hack is to go formula fields, new, and we'll go row, we'll go doc total header, just to make it something different. So what we now want to do is we want to say, how are we going to indicate that we only have one row? So I already know what we're going to do. When I looked at the database table for INV4, I found that, let's go where doc entry equals 1448. So let's just take this apples to apples example. So I already looked here, so I see line number 0. Ooh, I can't use that. I want to find some indicator that will only repeat one time. STA type, that's not good because that's the tax type. It's not guaranteed that every row has the right tax type. Scrolling, 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 scrolling. Oh, line sequence. Okay, look, line sequence 0. Okay, perfect. So this repeats only one time because this is the sequence of the taxes now. So line seq. So we're gonna go INV4. You can type it in here. No. Lin seq. So you just scroll down until you find lin seq. If line sequence equals 0, then output your doc total, else 0. Okay. So watch what this does. Have that there. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to just remove all of these. Put this here. This will probably need to go this way. So we'll go right click, insert summary. I'll just do all rows or all groups. Preview. Boom. So now what you have is this repeated one time only ever for the top total. But you have all your rows of the taxes. So you can do all your selections based on your rows and you can do all that stuff. And that makes things really quite simple. Okay, so now what you do is instead of using your detail rows, we're basically going to get rid of these and we are going to summarize everything. You could do it at the group header or the group footer. So it's up to you. I think the group header should be fine here. Let's see. Yeah, it does it fine. So then we go take the tax total. So this is from the group, right? I use the group level and I'm going to move this up. Okay, so now we have the right taxes, the right total, and the right document. And if you had any calculations or anything in here, it would still respect those. So now what you could do is details, in this case, suppress, footer, I don't really care about the footer, suppress. So now we have one row. Oh, we can put card code up here. We can put card name up there too. So because card code doesn't, it's not so picky. Let's just line this a little bit. You can do a lot more. So because card code's not really that picky, because we're not summarizing it or anything, it just takes the top one. So you can just move those back there. So now you can see in my group header, I have all of the right information. And what I'm going to do is unfilter for this one. You can just put // in front or use this guy. So we should get 2.34. 2.343. So now we have the same total as we did before. I have this a little bit taller here so we can shrink this down. So now you have a correct total of all of the taxes from all of these documents and also the right total for the document, okay? So this will solve your issue, Felipe, but what we also agreed about is doing it with SQL is actually way easier. So let's just do this same thing. And all we really need to do is build a query that looks like what we want, grouped, or you can use a subquery, however you want to do it. And then we will bring that back in. So I'm going to show you that method too. So what do we need? What do we have? Docnum. So it's just, what I like to do is I will actually use the query generator, tools, queries, query generator in order to grab fields so I just don't have to type them out. OINV. INV4. So it grouped it correctly, INV4. So we have docnum. Let's add doc entry in there manually. It's kind of annoying that they don't add it in there. They filter out some of the columns in there. Docnum, card code, card name, and then what do we want? Doc total. Then in here, we're going to go INV4 and we want VAT sum or whatever else we want. We can add anything else. I'll just put tax sum. You could say where tax code's not X or Y, or you could use a sub query in there too. So just, again, remember, I am not giving you a full lesson in SQL here. If you want my full lesson, go to sql.battleshipcobra.com and you'll get much better. So this basically just summarizes it so I don't have to pull all these fields. We're going to take this here. We're going to go in here. We're going to blow this all away. Format this a little bit nicer. So we're going to go here. You can watch me format this. Formatting is really important, guys. Don't let your stuff look ugly. I mean, it's part of, like, if you're going to have to go back and maintain it, you might as well spend a little bit of time organizing it and having it look decent. So this is a lot easier to read. You're joining all the tables. Some people put, yeah, everybody has their own different style. This is my particular style, so deal with it. Okay, so we can run this. So this gives us all the information we need. Doc entry, doc num, no. I think this is all we had. And then the tax sum. You'll still see the multiplicity issue, but you can use grouping to get around that. So you can just group by these guys. So we want to group by. Okay, and then we can just go sum. You could say as tax sum. You don't really need to. And this will be, we'll go max. This won't really matter. I guess I could group by it too, but shouldn't matter. Okay, so you should have 1 per 1. 1.8145 and 1.845. So this looks good. I think this will do what you need to do. Again, this can get as complicated as you want. Some people don't like grouping. They're going to use a subquery in there. You don't have to join these on. Depending on how I feel each day, I might have done it as a subquery. I think this is marginally faster. So basically, we're going to copy this. Go here. I'm going to just make a new one. File, new, blank report. I've already done this. You could double click on this to pop open your authorization to view it. Then I'm going to say add command. You can do this as a view as well. The view will be faster, but for my intents and purposes right now, I just want to have it all contained within the report. So double click add command. This is literally SQL. I'm going to, I'm just gonna get rid of this for now because you're gonna be able to use the other selection. So this will give you your data source exactly how you had it. Very simple. I'll rename this just, gosh. Okay, underscore. Okay, so this is them together, boom. So this is basically what you need. And you can do the same thing. So we just have this and we have all the same fields, doc entry, or doc num, card code, card name, tax sum, doc total. We're just getting kind of, it's a little ugly in here, but just again, as an example, insert this invoice summary. Move this down one. You can shrink this up a little bit. Moving fast here. Right click, insert summary at the grand total level. Right click, insert summary at the grand total level. Okay, so we're gonna go, let's just filter for that one too. Selection formulas, record, card code. And you can see it's the same. It just doesn't have multiple tables. It already did the massaging of the data within the tables. Probably backwards, don't know. And let's go OINV. Oh, yeah, there's only one. So doc entry equals 1448 if you remember. So this is going to give us just our one, so we can cross check. Push F5 or push this button up here. 1.4, 4.5, 1.8. Boom, baby. All right, 1.6, oh, 1.8 there, 1.94. Okay, so this worked perfectly. And now you don't have to do any massaging, changes, grouping. It's way faster in my opinion. It's so much easier to format. If you want a subtotal, you could just still use these as if they were fields. SQL evaluates first, pulls the data, and then it will output into Crystal Reports. So in Crystal Reports, if I was only ever gonna pick BattleshipCobra invoices, or maybe you have maybe you don't wanna consider invoices beyond a year back older or whatever, filter those in your command. It will make them faster because the SQL will only pull a shortened list. You don't try not to do your main bulk filtering inside the Crystal Report selection. It's just a detail, but that's a faster way to handle things. So that's it. Again, you format here, format field, switch to this one, customize negatives, turn negatives off, boom, highlight these. There's a lot of formatting that can be desired in there. Commands can have some serious performance limitations, but in most cases, they're gonna do what you need to do. I try to avoid them with giant bulk queries. I have videos on SQL views and videos on using stored procedures in order to link those into Crystal Reports too. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video about multiplicity in Crystal Reports and handling data on rows. If you have seen this issue and you are still confused, check out my Crystal Reports for SAP Business One course and my SQL for SAP Business One course 2. They're both at BattleshipCobra.com. You can check them out and then go to Udemy. They're not very expensive, and I can teach you from being not familiar with either of those technologies and then being able to write your own reports. My name is Mike Taylor, aka Battleship Cobra. I make tons of SAP Business One content. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and click that notification bell if you don't come to YouTube that frequently. I announce my videos on Twitter, twitter.battleshipcobra.com. I announce my videos on linkedin.battleshipcobra.com. And you can add me on LinkedIn, and that'd be awesome. If you have to ask me questions, that's the easiest place to do it if you're not in my courses. If you're in one of my courses, just ask in the Q&A, and that is good because then other people can see that Q&A as well. I make weekly videos every Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I also have a ton of other videos, so go back and check those out too. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye for now.